This is when it appeared in the Express, so we got into mainstream media, which was really cool, which was great. That happened at the Olympics as well, but they replaced me with an actor. So, some white actor they put in a hat and thing and said he was the undercover guy. But he was saying basically what I had said. So to be actually on the front of the Express newspaper is actually a really good thing, and them acknowledging my existence and what have you. So that's me and my wife Julia, and this is the letter that the Cabinet Office sent to Patrick Henningsen. The 21st Century Wire. Nothing was sent to me. This was just sent to him. And it basically says that the comments are defamatory, blah, blah, blah. It was mistaken identity, as Ian said earlier. Maybe he didn't understand it was. Ian Greer stood there in his office and said, Ben Worrell, Ken Clarke. Right? Because Worrell was my stage name for the job. Right? So when someone says, Kenneth Clarke MP, yeah, it's not mistaken identity. That's who you get introduced to. Unless there's two. Right, I'll give you that. If there's two Kenneth Clarke MPs, then maybe, I doubt it. So that's a letter they sent, and they said, we're going to sue you if you don't pull this down. And I said, well, you know what, Patrick, that's a request, don't do anything. And I published the letter, which they didn't like, but that's what I do. I don't keep secrets, I publish things, right? So if you come to attack me, then I'll tell the world about it, So the police came over to see me. Once I'd said this, and what happened was basically I was in Ian Greer. Ian Greer was a political lobbyist. I was in his office. Kenneth Clarke was in there. I was there to deliver a letter to Ian Greer about a project we were working on, the Cook Report, basically saying our dodgy company was going to hire you, right, and pay him lots of money. So he was in, so it's a good letter for him to get. Kenneth Clarke was in the office. I was introduced to him. Why he was there, I have no idea. Maybe he was there to meet me, maybe not. While I was in there, I got groped by him. Now, I'm not going to go into too much more detail because I've given a statement to the police and there's an investigation going on, but broadly speaking, that's basically what happened. Obviously, there's a lot more to it than that. But the police came to see me at my house. I didn't call them. They just rocked up. I'd done the Express interview, and the police said, look, we want you to tell us what you told the Express. I said, OK, fine, not a problem, The press can't have the names that I mentioned and the police not. I mean, that would be ridiculous, right? So I told my story. I gave them all the names who had basically been, inappropriate with me as a child actor, because I was saying it was the wider industry, and of course about Kenneth Clarke, which they're only there for Kenneth Clarke, really. They weren't interested in anyone else. They said, look, we suggest that you make a statement. And I said, why? And they said, because in 6 months' time, you won't be able to do it, and then it will be impossible for you to get out of the corner that you're now in. I went, huh? I mean, I had agreed to make the statement already, right? So I didn't need to be cajoled or bullied or slightly talked to. And I was like, well, and now I know what he meant. It was a warning. It wasn't a threat or whatever. It was just, it wasn't any kind of pushing you in the direction. It was a warning. And the warning was that something was going to happen to the internet within the next 6 months because they knew what was going to happen. Because of what the Levinson inquiry had already done. And phone hacking, they could see that it was going to damage the police as well. This is not just about the press, but attack on the police. Scotland Yard's been sold off, by the way. Do we know that? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Scotland Yard's been sold to a private company. Right? The actual building. So the police know what's going on. They know they're being attacked. It's a Cold War that's going on, clearly. And so the police said, look, you're in a corner. And I went, what corner? I said, exactly, you don't even see it. But when it comes down on you, it'll be like a ton of bricks. So I said, OK, fine. But they wouldn't explain it to me. And they left just like that. And I thought, OK. And then another officer came and did the statement, and that was that. And it was only until that phone call yesterday that I realised that they knew they were going to try and censor the internet. And because my story had appeared on the internet first, before it appeared anywhere else, they were going to basically say to me, look, this guy is causing gossip on the internet. He's the reason why and he's just trying to smear a cabinet minister. Right? A senior cabinet minister. Probably one of the most senior cabinet ministers. Ken Clarke has been there through everything. Right? And so, had I not made a statement to the police, now with what's coming down with Levinson and that phone call yesterday, like they said, it would be too late to do it in the future. Because as soon as they come out and say, oi, that's it, you're done, which Levinson did to the radio people, right? That blew up and they didn't know what hit them, right? They were in a corner, they didn't know it, right? They'd put themselves in a corner because they did prank phone calls, right? So I was in a corner, and so basically I was being warned. Do something about it. Now because I've made the allegations to the police and the statement has been written, it exists, I'm now a protected witness. It is now an ongoing police investigation. And so that brings us up to where we are today. which is it's still crackling on. We're still getting stories out there. We're in the mainstream more and more now, which is really great. It was a surprise to me that found myself out of the mainstream, and then I'm finding myself and going back in other ways and stuff. So I hope you've enjoyed what I've had to say. I hope you find it useful and stuff like that. And thanks for listening. And we'll